Several of y'all have reached out to me to let me know that decluttering your closet is something you want to do, but it's just too overwhelming. And girl, I just want to tell you, I get it. I did not declutter my closet for years, and just so you know, that's okay. You can start much smaller. So I thought today I'd make a video about where I started. And where I started really refining my decluttering process that made a huge difference in my world was getting rid of all the paper clutter in my home. Now, I work from home, so that means I was also at the same time getting rid of all the paper clutter in my business as well. And that has been amazing. So I just want to tell you, it doesn't matter if you're not ready to declutter your closet. That's not a problem. But I want to ask you, do you still have paper clutter in your house? Because it's been more than 20 years since the turn of the century. And so many of us still have paper clutter at home. And for me, clutter, even the paper clutter, just makes me feel heavy and weighed down. I don't like feeling this way in my wardrobe, in my home, anywhere in my life. And once I figured that out, it was time for me to lighten things up. And that meant all the clutter in my world had to go. But that's an overwhelming thing to take on, right? Like all the clutter in your whole world had to go all at once. Like who can do that? I couldn't. So I decided to start with paper clutter. And this video is about how I have eliminated paper clutter for my entire life, for my business and my home. It's been amazing. So I thought I would share that with you because it's a great place to start. Let's get to it. Now, to completely eliminate paper clutter in my home and in my business, I needed just 3 tools. I needed a computer, I needed a scanner, and I needed a shredder. Now that I've been doing this for a few years, those 3 tools are still my go-to. But I've also come to realize that you don't necessarily need those 3 specific tools. If you don't have a computer, you can use your smartphone. If you don't have a scanner, you can use the camera on your smartphone. And if you don't have a shredder, you can use a pair of scissors. Or if you're more of a torch it type of girl, you can just, use a lighter. No judgment. I like a bonfire just as much as anybody else. Just be really safe about it if that's what you're going to do. But regardless of whatever physical tools you're going to use to eliminate the paper clutter from your home, you're also going to need a digital tool. And for me, my digital tools are Google Drive and OneNote. And that's it. That's all it takes. With just these few tools, you can completely eliminate paper clutter from your home. Now, the very first step to eliminating the paper clutter from your life is the easiest. And that is creating digital accounts for everything that you receive paper stuff about regularly. Things like your power bill or your rent or your mortgage, whatever. Anything that you would receive a monthly statement on, if you haven't already created an online account, which you probably have, but if you haven't, go in and create an online account. And then within your online account, go in and select a paperless billing option. And what this means is that every month that provider is going to send you an email. We're just going to use an electric provider, for instance. Your electric provider is going to send you an email of your current statement, and then you can pay that bill right from that statement that comes in your email. Now, the great thing about these types of statements from these providers, from your mortgage company, your electric company, whatever, is that you don't have to worry about storing and organizing those things anywhere. The provider takes care of all of that for you. For instance, I can log into my electric provider and I can pull up years and years and years worth of power statements if that's something I need for some reason. Like in my world, for an audit, I would need to be able to produce all these different statements for audit purposes. And I can easily do that. So I don't worry about saving any of those emails, and I also don't worry about saving any digital copies of those kinds of things because I know the provider does that for me. And that's something I can appreciate. That makes getting rid of paper clutter the easiest. Now, in my world, almost all my utility providers, my mortgages, my insurance providers, all of those things allow for a digital billing option. But in the little city that I live in, the water utility district does not provide a paperless billing system. So I do still get that one piece of paper every month. And for the paper things I do receive, I simply scan them and save them into my OneNote digital notebook app. Now, OneNote is so very well developed for just this type of purpose. Now, I use OneNote for everything. I take notes on my tablet. I don't even have a paper notebook in my life. But OneNote is so much more powerful because it is really well developed for just this type of purpose. I can scan a file and print it in a PDF form to OneNote, and OneNote even does the OCR, so it makes it searchable. It's just fantastic. And then I can group all of my water bills month after month after month, so then each month when I receive my water utility bill, I can scan it into my OneNote app, and I can save it month after month after month, and I can shred that piece of paper and put it out for recycling. And I cannot even tell you how much I love OneNote. Because it works seamlessly across all of my devices. It works on my Surface Pro, it works on my iPad, it works on my iPhone, it works on my Windows computer. It just works. And that's something I can really appreciate because I only have to scan it in to one place, save it on into the notebook, and then it's available to me on all of my devices all the time. Syncs automatically. I love it. You know what? I'm going to leave a link to OneNote down in the description. It's a free app, and if you want to check it out, I highly suggest you do because it's just so incredibly useful. But I don't keep everything in OneNote. It doesn't work for everything for me. I am a real estate investor, and in my world of real estate investing, what that means for me is that I buy single-family homes and rent them out. Now let me tell you what comes with being a single-family home buy and hold real estate investor. Paper. Paper, 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 paper. A ton of paper. All the purchasing documents, inspection documents, tax documents, remodeling documents, like documents, a ton of paper. You get what I mean. Honestly, I think the real estate industry might be the biggest drain on the physical paper supply today. Now, I don't know that for sure, it's just what I think, but I still do know that the real estate industry consumes a ridiculous amount of physical paper. For my real estate transactions, I simply use Google Drive. I created a template folder for each one of my properties that has within it all the closing files and has all the tax files and has all the remodeling files and has all the leases and all the things in it saved in, of course, a digital form so that everything is still accessible to me when I'm traveling. It's on my phone, it's on my iPad, it's on my Surface Pro, it's on my computer, it's everywhere. And it's available to me no matter where I'm at, what I'm doing. And that has proven to be incredibly useful when I'm traveling and I need to get on the phone with maybe a contractor and tell them, you know, what paint color I used in this property 4 years ago. So that is super convenient for me. But in my world, that means I need a really high-powered scanner, because this is closing docs for just one property. I need a speedy machine that can handle scanning both sides of a sheet of paper at one time, that allows me to create a PDF and save it into all these folder templates that I've already got set up. I simply scan the papers that I want to keep copies of, and I either put them in my digital notebook or I put them in my Google Drive folder. And then along with the junk mail and the physical paper that I've already scanned, I just shred it and set it out to be recycled, and then move on with my day. All the junk mail goes straight through the shredder and off to recycling. I don't even open it because I know anything that is going to be important, anything that I really need to pay attention to, is going to come to me in my email, or at least an email notice that it's going to be mailed to me, because I've already made that arrangement with all the different providers, except for that one silly utility bill. Like that water bill still comes paper. But outside of that, everything else is delivered electronically, or at least a notice of a physical delivery is going to be delivered electronically. Now, once you get yourself set up to maintain this easy process of getting physical paper decluttered from your world, you will be so glad you did. I cannot imagine going back to any kind of system that required that I review and file and save physical pieces of paper anymore. Now that I'm thinking about it, I do have a couple of pieces of paper, physical pieces of paper that we do keep in our safe deposit box, things like our wills, birth certificates, stuff like that. But outside of that, I don't keep any paper stuff in my house. But I know a lot of you still do. And if you do, I'd love to hear about that down in the comments. I'm really curious to know what keeps you from going digital. And even more curious to know that if you've tried to go with a digital filing system before and it didn't work out for you, I'd love to know why it didn't work. Because in my world and in my experience, getting rid of the paper clutter in my house was a great start for me to be able to build the confidence I needed to take on those bigger decluttering projects. You know, like in my closet, in my wardrobe. And I think that maybe it could even do the same for you. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for a few minutes today. It has been great hanging out with you. If you are interested in this type of content, please do consider subscribing to the channel if you're ready. If you're not ready, don't worry about it. No harm, no foul. You have an open invitation to come back and hang out anytime you'd like, because I will be here, right here somewhere in my home, making videos. Now, I hope you will go watch this video next. It's a video where I decluttered my closet. And in that video, I talk a lot about how decluttering your closet is about so much more than the clothes. I'd love to see you over there. So until we meet over there, bye y'all.